show.
No rules! Hey, that's what I'm talking about.
Dogs on the Run begins now.
Well, don't look now, but your Cleveland Browns are tied for first place, and it is the month of November. Outstanding. He's Andre Knott. I'm Andy Baskin. Tim Couch will join us in just a few moments. So will Kenny Rhoda. The Browns 24-3 winner last night against Cincinnati. We say pound for pound on this thing. Pound for pound, the Browns did almost everything right last night.
They won the game. They played to the competition. They won the game the right way. They played great defense. They ran the football. And really, I don't care who you're a fan of or who you don't like or do like. That's a positive win that not only tells the people within that locker room in the city of Cleveland that the Browns may be legit, but you just told the rest of the NFL that you can compete with a good team.
It was funny. I was listening to the radio on the way in. I was listening to a national show on the way in, and they were talking about how they didn't really think the Browns were that good going into last night, and for what they did last night compared to everything that they've done since 1999, he said for the first time in a long time, he felt like the Browns were actually back, a real team with a chance to win. And it doesn't look, it may not have to look pretty, but this team has a chance to win without superstars.
Great debate going into the game this week, how important this game was. I know some people thought it was the biggest game the Browns have played since they returned in '99. Some people would say in 2007 you had a huge game in Cincinnati.
Right.
And they haven't showed up in 2002 when you played with the Atlanta Falcons and you're sitting there hoping that another team loses.
Well, you had a
at the same
playoff game.
time.
I mean,
right, you basically did.
Yeah.
But I thought last night was the best they showed up when the pressure was on them. And no one would have walked away from that game last night if the score was the opposite. No one would have been surprised. Everyone said, the Browns are okay.
That's the team we expected to see over the last couple of weeks. Yeah.
Now the Browns are a team, and the reason that I think I'm most excited, and I'll say this, I think they're going to go to the playoffs. The reason I'm most excited is the defense is finally playing the way we thought the defense was going to play. That defense last night made Andy Dalton look pedestrian, look like he was a guy that's
horrible,
was awful. He's got a huge contract, and we can say what we want about Manziel and all these different quarterbacks. You had one quarterback do what was needed last night, and Brian Hoyer, you had another one that couldn't show up in a big-time game, and Andy Dalton. And Andy Dalton's had a better cockpit to play with the entire time he's been there. Brian Hoyer is making guys that we haven't even heard of household names.
It's true.
I mean, last night, Travis Benjamin, your leading receiver?
Well, I thought last night, as I watched that game last night, that this is I kept paralleling that to the Jacksonville game in some ways in my mind, that the Bengals looked like the Browns did against Jacksonville. Nothing was working, balls sailing high, just couldn't get into a rhythm, couldn't do anything they wanted to do. And they came out with a purpose. The Browns, they did what they did in that first half against the Saints defensively. Right. They came out with a purpose, and I say it time and time again, just do your job and good things are going to happen. And Mike Pettin said that after the game.
They have too much talent on defense. It was the reason I was so hard on them. Alba Baker, we were so hard on them early because defensively, that's where the talent is at.
Right.
Let's be honest. It was a big deal last night that Andrew Hawkins didn't play. No offense to Andrew Hawkins, but if you would have told me back in August that this team would be,
make or break on Andrew Hawkins,
right? Now all of a sudden, and as we go along throughout this morning, I'll talk about it. You should have Jordan Cameron back next week against Houston. And then you go into Atlanta, and you're going to get one of the top 5 talents in the NFL. And I know that it'll be weird in incorporating them, but it shouldn't be. Because when you put Josh Gordon back on the field, suddenly this running game should be able to run the way they did yesterday.
Well, I want to talk about the 3-back offense. I got all these things. Let's go to Eric, the referee, though. Eric, what do you got for us this morning?
One thing I want to say, too, is it was so good to hear the Hoyer chants.
At the end?
At the end.
That was pretty cool.
It just felt so good.
It felt very high school, though.
I was very high school, yes.
But that's okay. I mean, but if you want to call the Yankees high school, it's the same thing they do for roll call. It's exactly the same thing.
I agree.
It is.
We got a jam-packed show. We got Tubby Dog lined up right now. He's getting ready. George from Lakewood's getting ready to talk. Tim Couch standing by. We'll hear from the Cinday Browns backers out of Cincinnati. So it'll be interesting to see.
Who they?
I know. So.
There's so many tweets. Jeremy Hill, what he said after the game. There are a lot of things to talk about.
And
that's okay.
From this game. Oh, I love it.
And it's okay.
It's
like Jeremy Hill. It's okay, Jeremy Hill. I'm glad you feel that way.
All right. Well,
and Bone Lady will join us in a little bit as well.
Are we going into Bone Lady's bedroom?
We're going into Bone Lady's
Higher.
bedroom.
Nice.
Lower.
All right. I see that he was already set up, so let's go to the Tubby Dog. Tubby Dog is on Skype, too.
What you smoking there, Tubbs?
Hey, Tubbs.
You know, what's going on? What's happening?
Did you go to the game last night or no? Did you watch it on TV?
No, I watched it on the computer because I can't afford the NFL Network. But yeah.
All right, well that's good enough. All right, well enjoy your cigarette and tell us your thoughts on the game last night, my friend.
Holy shit! Holy shit! I mean, they actually showed up. I was so nervous about this game, and I watched the second half, and I was on pins and needles the entire time, waiting for the other shoe to drop, and it never did. We actually came through. I had some pretty good graphic tweets that I tweeted out there. You can check my timeline for those. And the only thing I have to say really after this is, hey, Greg Little, shut the fuck up, dumbass. You suck balls. And, that's about it. He'll be flipping burgers here next week.
All right, let me ask you about Jeremy Hill then. Jeremy Hill after the game last night, and I'll read this straight from the ESPN article. Bengals rookie running back Jeremy Hill, who had a front row seat for the blowout, was among those unimpressed. Asked whether the Browns were better than previously thought, Hill said, "Oh, no, not at all. They're probably worse than I thought, to be honest with you." And he didn't stop there. "They didn't do anything special to me," Hill continued. "I mean, respect to them. They won the game, but that's all I'll give them." Your thoughts on Jeremy Hill?
What school did he go to?
LSU.
LSU. They don't teach math in LSU. Scoreboard, dumbass. Sit your ass down, shut the fuck up, and figure out how to win your next game.
Well,
dumbass.
I don't want him to win the next game, Tubby, but let me ask you this. And you stay pretty even-keeled, even though I love how you just answered that. What are your expectations for the Browns the rest of the season now?
I don't know. I don't know. I owe Laura Maggie333 on Twitter. I owe her beer at the Texans game because I said we wouldn't make it over 5 wins, and she says, "When we do, you owe me beer." And I'm like, "Okay, well, I'll bet." And I'm at a loss. I'm in deeper water than my fat ass can float in. I'm telling you, I don't know. I'm just gonna strap in, shut up, and enjoy the ride. And then give my comments after the game. That's about all I can do.
Tubby, thank you. Good stuff this morning.
Tubby
dance,
dance, Tubby
dance, man. It's been so long. I haven't seen it. Happy to see the Tubby dance here.
Love it.
All right, Tubby, have a great day. Thanks for kicking us off today.
All right, thanks. Hey.
All right, we go to George in Lakewood next. We'll flip on over to George in Lakewood, who is standing by with. There's Tubby saying goodbye. There's George.
George's got his rota. He's got his rota set up.
Yeah, I got my road set up of Brutus and Snowy, and my wife gave me the good luck charm of Thumper.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we haven't seen Thumper yet.
Yeah, well, we got Thumper.
Our good friend Josh Sabo said this could be
what was the week? He called it Disappointment Week. He's supposed to be over my house Saturday night for Ohio State.
Disappointment Week 2014.
Don't want that.
Disappointment Week.
The Browns have nothing to do with Disappointment Week 2014. They've decided not to participate. I'm very happy about that.
No votes from the Browns.
George, what do you got?
If I could say one thing, and I'm not trying to be depressed on this, could we please have someone catch a punt return? Please. Ray Farmer, please. You got 10 days. Sign somebody.
George,
you want someone popular?
George, can I just say this
It's not in our plans right now to worry about that.
I know.
George, let me just say
I know.
one thing.
That's my
George,
now
they're
my
6-3. They're tied for first place.
I know. No, I'm
yes,
not disagreeing with that.
mistake
Now,
with the special teams.
a wire-to-wire finish.
Brother. Go ahead, George.
A wire-to-wire finish. I love it. They're 6-3. I didn't expect 6-3. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm just going to be like Tubby, your first caller. I'm going to enjoy this.
Absolutely.
We don't
Enjoy
get
the
this
weekend.
too much.
No.
George, how far can this team go?
As far as it wants to. And it makes the national networks take a look at us and take a look at us a lot harder.
Well, you talk
and I hope to God they're all sulking this morning.
You talk about that. This win, and if it continues along over the next month, you may get some games flexed to 8 o'clock at night on Sunday.
Oh, I think
I'm hoping to God NBC gives us that.
Yeah, that may be the rest of the league having to watch us a couple more times when it matters. I think that's coming. I really do.
I really do too.
And like I said earlier, you suddenly are going to get the weapons back. The weather's going to change. And the running game, if the running game can be what it was yesterday, they have a chance. It's not going to be like that every night, but they have a chance to make some hay. They can win 10, 11 games.
All right, George,
as long
thank
as
you.
Herm Edwards says you play to win the game, and it's a pass-fail league, and we have passed.
There you go.
Amazingly.
So far, 6 times at least. All right, George, have a great day.
You have
Tim
an
Couch,
awesome day.
You too. Tim Couch is standing by. We'll get to him in 1 second. Betty in Fairport Harbor. Hi, Betty. Thanks for calling. 216-431-3820. Morning to you, Betty.
Good morning.
How pumped are you?
Well, I just told you last Monday it was Rocky Mountain High.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now I just feel, all right. I put on Facebook last night the symbol of the Browns, and everybody came back with a real good note. But I have a question. I've been watching football a long time, and there on that first play that we had for our touchdown, now they said, they had to take a review of it, and they said, penalty on the defense, and that would have been the Bengals.
Right.
And they say penalty decline, touchdown, Cleveland.
Right.
So who said the penalty is the decline? And
The
I
Browns
don't
declined
get
it.
all that yet.
We did. Why wouldn't we? Because you want the points and not the penalty.
I know, but sometimes it says offsetting penalties. So
That's when it's on two teams. All right, Betty. Well, Betty, the Browns did the right thing there. How's that help you?
Betty, you looking for a Dogs on the Run shirt still, girl?
girl, guy, listen, I talked with Colleen. She said we need some sponsors. So after this game, come on, sponsors, get in there.
Tell them,
Betty.
girl.
Thank you, Betty.
I need about 20 of them now. I'm so high.
Tell them, girl.
All right,
my
Betty.
friend.
Have a great weekend, Betty.
Hey, man, don't be
Go
cutting
Browns.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Betty.
Don't be cutting Betty off when she's trying to get us money.
Well, how much money was she going to get us?
I don't know. She's begging for
Speaking
sponsors.
of money, let's go to the man who is money that'll give us a little bit more insight on whether we should take a penalty or not or take a touchdown.
Stop it.
We go to Tim Couch. Hi, Tim. How are you this morning?
I'm good. How you guys doing?
I don't know if you've heard
Excellent,
the
man.
stellar start we've had to this show. Tubby dropped 6 F-bombs, and Betty's trying to figure out why the Browns didn't take the penalty over the touchdown.
I'm sorry I missed Tubby Dog this morning. I was trying to get on before he came on. I knew he was going to be the first caller and excited to go this morning, and I was counting on him to give me a little shot of energy. But sorry I missed that one.
I think Tubby and Barry Stokes were born from the same family.
He's better than Red Bull.
Safe
Better
bet.
than Red Bull. His first comments were straight to Greg Little.
Yeah.
If that's all you need to know.
Big game like that, Tim. All the guys are talking about Dante Whitner. Friday, the night before the game, gets in front of the guys defensively and just tells them kind of his story and breaks down what it means to be a Cleveland Brown, how tough it was for him growing up here. And every guy on that defense said they went out in the field and they played because of that. Have you ever had a guy stand up in front of you before a game and get you guys and get a group of guys motivated like that?
Yeah, I have. There's always some, you count on some leaders to get you motivated and get you going and inspire you before these tough games like this on the road, a short week, and just get your focus where it should be. And that's on how much this game means to everyone, not only on the team, but, the city of Cleveland and the whole franchise. And, it was such a big game. And, Browns had been had no success on the road in the division over the last few years, and Cincinnati's a tough place to go get a win. And you need your leaders to step up in moments like that and get guys fired up and let them realize how big the moment is. And, they respond to guys like Dante, and it was obvious from the get-go. I thought it was the most complete game that they have played all season long from every aspect, from offense, defense, special teams, and the defense really set the tone. I thought the interception on the opening drive really set the tone, gave the whole team confidence that they could win that game on the road, and they converted that into a touchdown. That's what you have to do in those type of games. But they confused Andy Dalton the entire game. He couldn't get anything going. They shut down the run game. It was just a complete dominating performance from start to finish.
Tim, I thought the most important part of the game was right after the interception. The fact that not only could they go 5 straight plays running the ball to get in the end zone, but that they got into the end zone themselves, because I think it was at that point that we knew Brian Hoyer was going to be in control for the entire night. Even on handoffs, you knew that Brian had control of the game, and I thought it was great that they were able to do that, well, especially when you consider they hadn't scored a touchdown in the first quarter. You have to go back to the 3rd game of the season to let them do it. How important was that first touchdown for the offensive mindset for the rest of the game?
Well, it was huge, and like you said, the way that they got the ball in the end zone was huge, running the football, because over the last couple of weeks, that's been the big question, the big concern is how they're going to get this run game going. And they went back to the rookies. They went to Terrence West. They went to Isaiah Crowell, a guy who had only had a couple carries over the last couple of weeks, and they sparked this run game. And then you bring in a Ben Tate as a complimentary guy. And I thought those rookies were outstanding. They really ran the football hard. Terrence West was sharp all night. I thought he looked fresh. He had fresh legs. His cuts were sharp. He was running through guys. He was confident. Just getting that running game going, I think, was what this offense needed. And Brian, I thought, played a great game. No touchdown passes or anything like that, but he controlled the game. He managed the game just like you have to do on the road, and he didn't look like he was affected nearly as much as Andy Dalton was with the conditions, how windy it was. Brian was throwing strikes. His ball was cutting through the wind, and Andy was throwing balls up, and they ended up 5-6 yards off target, out of bounds. He had an opportunity for a touchdown. Dalton threw the ball out of bounds, and for Brian, he was stepping back, throwing those seam routes and throwing those balls across the middle like it was perfect conditions out there. It was a really impressive performance all the way around for the offense.
Very, very good play. Well played. Can we do one other thing? Can we give Joe Hayden some credit for the cornerback that he is? That defense doesn't play nearly as well. And I know A.J. Green is banged up and everything else, but for the first 2-3 weeks of this show, every other caller wanted to bang on Joe Hayden. He got paid too much. He was huge last night, Tim.
Man, he was huge, and he allowed the defense to do so much. He freed so many guys up because Mike Pettin basically said, hey, Joe, you're going to follow A.J. Green wherever he goes. And I think A.J. Green had, 3 catches on the night, was not a factor in the football game at all. And Joe Hayden is really, really living up to all the hype, the contract, everything that he deserves. He's that type of player. And, you can go out and A.J. Green, yeah, he's a little banged up, but he's still a dynamic guy that can hurt you and can change the game in a heartbeat. And Joe was locked up on him the entire game, shut him down, freed up Dante Whitner and those safeties to get down in the box and really stop that run game, and they did that. And that was probably the thing that impressed me the most with the defense yesterday is how they stopped the run. Yeah. That defensive line was unbelievable. They were batting balls at the line of scrimmage. They were pressuring Andy Dalton. They were stopping the run. It was just a really, really impressive performance, and especially doing it on a short week. That's so hard to do, to prepare and to go on the road. It's probably a little easier for the home team to prepare on a short week, but you have that, that travel day where you kind of lose some time for, going through walkthroughs and going over stuff that you kind of lose as the road team. But they were ready to play from the get-go. Joe was outstanding. Screen was outstanding. All the defense. You can go right down the line. Everybody played an unbelievable football game yesterday.
All right, Tim, we're going to come back to you in a half hour. Thank you for joining us on the special edition of Dogs on the Run. So, one more point?
Yeah, when we come back, I want to ask you about Andy Dalton because I think his career is at a crossroads. I do.
Okay. Well, the other thing I want to talk to you about is using 3 running backs because it worked last night.
I'm going to tell you something, and then we'll
talk to you in a half hour.
We'll talk to you in half an hour.
Thanks.